So me vote and still back to square one. Look at people still suffering in bitter man John. We lose faith in the leader, and I'm not calling no names. We fed up of the lies and the dirty games. So it's right now we have a vote, no confidence. Cause right now in the country they're doing real nonsense. Now the majority of youth decide to go and pick up gun. Like you're playing blind and you're deaf and dumb. Like you forget your people once you in power. And you're moving evil, you had the whole place sour.
Producing, but had no land tenure. The distribution of these lands was implemented to encourage farmers to plant and also to contribute to food.
So we vote and still back to square one. Look at people still suffering in bitter man John. We lose faith in the leader, and I'm not calling no names. We fed up of the lies and the dirty games. So it's right now we have a vote, no confidence. Cause right now in the country they're doing real nonsense. Now the majority of youth decide to go and pick up gun, like you're playing blind and you're deaf and dumb. Like you forget your people once you in power and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour. And now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one little thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up all your life. You could do much better. Kaiso, food prices going up too high. I's a madman. We can buy rice or flour. Don't the chicken going up, peas going up, sausage going up, cheese going up. It's everything going up. I's a madman. Kaiso. To talk about the crime situation now is a problem. Too much of rape, murders and robbery, how they gas up them. I see you talk and you talk out we brain. With a set of lies, while the country going down the drain. Them don't care about nobody. Wants to fix the finance, big shot friends and family. So the whole of the country wants you now to stop lying. Cause the next election is a new party we voting. Like you forget your people once you in power and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour. And now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one little thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up all your lives. You could do much better. Gas prices going up too high. The cost of living is getting harder. Kaiso, let me put in no copyright claim. I don't own the rights of the music played, neither the melody. I'm a madman. Okay.
How high the crime rate is in the country now, boy. Forest, come down. Input, come down. UNC, in tongue. I don't want to leave you on top the horse. I need you to come down here for me now. You're claiming PNM them is boss, but look how high the crime rate is now. PNM feel the bright, they can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to with advice. Champa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and walk voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. A million followers, a million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give we 2% and feed we with lie. That man can mama guy. He feel it too bright. Yeah, we need election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to bed advice. Calling in but them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. Hines and when you come down, you're going on the beat up to mama guy, poor people. Good you get wet down. Champa always in a zest. Least for development in a mess. Come and get the government credit card arrest. Remember when you buy all the wig and dress? Comments a millions if you check. Tell the people them how you get it. PNM government them unfit. Every minute them would raise the budget. PNM government them unfit. Suffer poor people in pandemic. PNM government them unfit. Give we 2% then they laugh at it. PNM government them unfit. Them unfit. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Champa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Faris, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Rohan, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Imbut, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. BNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Champa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and walk voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. A million followers, a million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give we 2% and feed we with lie. That man can mama. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Champa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, you dog. Look how high the crime rate is in the country now, boy. Forest, come down, come down.
Just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me, just so, she greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so. She see me, just so. She greet me, just so, just so, just so, just so.
Come down, UNC, in tongue. I don't want to leave you on top the horse, I need you to come down here for me now. You're claiming P&M them is boss, but look how high the crime rate is now. P&M feel the bright, they can win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley. Take me to with advice, Champa, coach you them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there. I just want to warn you, before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and walk voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice, 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high, give we 2% and feed me with life. That man can mama guy, you feel it too bright. Yeah, we need election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley. Take me to bed advice, calling in but them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there. Hands how you come down, you're going on the beat up to mama guy, poor people. Good you get wet down, Champa always in a zest. Least for development in a mess, coming to the government credit card arrest. Remember when you buy all the wig and dress? Comments are millions if you check. Tell the people them how you get it. P&M government them on fit. Every minute them would raise the budget. P&M government them on fit. Suffer poor people in pandemic. P&M government them on fit. Give we 2% then they laugh at it. P&M government them on fit. Them on fit. P&M feel the bright, they can win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley. Take me to with advice, Champa, coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley, Rowley, come down, UNC, in tongue, Faris, come down, UNC, in tongue, Rohan, come down, UNC, in tongue, Imbut, come down, UNC, in tongue, P&M feel the bright, they can win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley. Take me to with advice, Champa, coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there. Just want to warn you, before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and walk voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice, 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high, give we 2% and feed me with lie. That man could mama PNM feel the bright, they can win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley. Take me to with advice, Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley, come down from there, Rowley.
So me vote and still back to square one. Look at people still suffering and beat up man John. We lose faith in the leader, and I'm not calling no names. We fed up of the lies and the dirty games. So it's right now we have a vote, no confidence. Cause right now in the country they're doing real nonsense. Now the majority of youth decide to go and pick up gun, like you're playing blind and you're deaf and dumb. Like you forget your people once you in power, and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour, and now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one little thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up all your life. You could do much better. Guys, food prices going up too high. I's a madman. We can buy rice or flour. Don't the chicken gone up, peas gone up, sausage gone up, cheese gone up. It's everything gone up. I's a madman. Guys, to talk about the crime situation now is a problem. Too much of rape, murders and robbery, how they can't solve them. I see you talk and you talk and you talk out we brain. With a set of lies, while the country going down the drain. Them don't care about nobody. Wants to fix the finance, big shot friends and family. So the whole of the country wants you now to stop lying. Cause the next election is a new party we voting. Like you forget your people once you in power, and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour, and now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one little thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up all your life. You could do much better. Gas prices going up too high. The cost of living is getting harder. Guys, let me put in no copyright claim. I don't own the rights of the music played, neither the melody. I'm a madman. Okay. So we vote and we vote and we vote and still back to square one. Look at people still suffering in bitter man John. We lose faith in the leader, and I'm not calling no names. We fed up of the lies and the dirty games. So it's right now we have a vote, no confidence. Cause right now in the country they're doing real nonsense. Now the majority of youth decide to go and pick up gun, like you're playing blind and you're deaf and dumb. Like you forget your people once you in power, and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour, and now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one little thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up for all your life. You could do much better. Guys, food prices going up too high. I's a madman. We can buy rice or flour. Don't the chicken gone up, peas gone up, sausage gone up, cheese gone up. It's everything gone up. I's a madman. Guys, to talk about the crime situation now is a problem. Too much of rape, murders and robbery, how they can't solve them. I see you talk and you talk and you talk out we brain with a set of lies while the country going down the drain. Them don't care about nobody. Wants to fix the finance, big shot friends and family. So the whole of the country wants you now to stop lying. Cause the next election is a new party we voting. Like you forget your people once you in power, and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour, and now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one little thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up for all your life. You could do much better. Gas prices going up too high. The cost of living is getting harder. Guys, let me put in my copyright claim. I don't own the rights of the music played, neither the melody. I'm a madman, okay?
Just so, she see me. Just so, she greet me. Just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me. Just so, she greet me. Just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me. Just so, she greet me. Just so, just so. Just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me. Just so, she greet me. Just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, she see me. Just so, she greet me. Just so, just so, just so.
How high the crime rate is now. PNM feel the bright. They can win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Make me choke with that vibe. Champa, go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post, you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery, the food price high. Give it 2% and feel we reply. That man can mama guy. He feel it too bright. The girl win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to bed advice. Calling in, but them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. Hands up when you come down. You're going on the beat of the mama guy, poor people. Good, you get wet down. Shamfa always in a zest. Least for development in a mess. Coming give the government credit, card arrest. Remember when you buy all the wig and dress? Comments are millions, if you check. Tell the people them how you get it. PNM government them unfit. Every minute them would raise the budget. PNM government them unfit. Suffer poor people in pandemic. PNM government them unfit. Give we 2% then they laugh at it. PNM government them unfit. Them unfit. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Faris, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Rohan, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Imbut, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and one voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give we 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley.
Sound. Check.
Look how high the crime rate is in the country now, boy. Faris, come down, come down. Imbut, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue. I don't want to leave you on top the horse. I need you to come down here for me now. You're claiming PNM them is boss, but look how high the crime rate is now. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and walk voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give we 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama guy. He feel it too bright. Yeah, win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Calling in, but them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. Hands up when you come down. You're going on the beat of the mama guy, poor people. Good, you get wet down. Shamfa always in a zest. Least for development in a mess. Coming give the government credit, card arrest. Remember when you buy all the wig and dress? Comments are millions, if you check. Tell the people them how you get it. PNM government them unfit. Every minute them would raise the budget. PNM government them unfit. Suffer poor people in pandemic. PNM government them unfit. Give we 2% then they laugh at it. PNM government them unfit. Them unfit. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Faris, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Rohan, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Imbut, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and walk voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give we 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me stupid advice. Shampa coach you them they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, you dog. Look how high the crime rate is in the country now, boy. Forest, come down, come down. Inwood, come down, come down. UNC, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue. I don't want to leave you on top the horse. I need you to come down here for me now. You're claiming PNM, them is boss, but look how high the crime rate is now. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to with that vibe. Champa, put you them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like Ito and one voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give me 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama guy. You feel me too bright. Yeah, we need election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vice. Calling in with them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. Hands where you come down. You're going on the beat up to mama guy, poor people. Good, you get wet down. Champa always in a zest. Least for development in a mess. Can you get the government credit card arrest? Remember when you buy all the wig and dress? Comments are millions if you check. Tell the people them how you get it. PNM government them unfit. Every minute them will raise the budget. PNM government them unfit. Suffer poor people in pandemic. PNM government them unfit. Give it 2% then they laugh at it. PNM government them unfit. Them unfit. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vice. Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Forest, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Rohan, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. Inwood, come down, come down. UNC in tongue, in tongue. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vice. Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like Ito and one voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give me 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vibe. Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, you dog. Look how high the crime rate is in the country now, boy. Forest, come down, come down. Inwood, come down, come down. UNC, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue, in tongue. I don't want to leave you on top the horse. I need you to come down here for me now. You're claiming PNM, them is boss, but look how high the crime rate is now. PNM feel the bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vibe. Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like Ito and one voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high. Give me 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama guy. You feel me too bright. Yeah, we need election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vice. Calling in with them, they not nice. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. Hands where you come down. You're going on the beat up to mama guy, poor people. Good, you get wet down. Champa always in a zest. Least for development in a mess. Can you get the government credit card arrest? Remember when you buy all the big and dress? Comments are millions if you check. Tell the people them how you get it. PNM government them unfit. Every minute them will raise the budget. PNM government them unfit. Suffer poor people in pandemic. PNM government them unfit. Give it 2% then they laugh at it. PNM government them unfit. Them unfit. PNM feel they bright. They can't win election tonight. Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Take me to pay that vice. Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there.
when you're ready for me, Archie. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Star Team 2022 internal election campaign. I want to invite you all to stand for the national anthem, followed by a prayer by Councillor Ramona Victor.
All heads bow. Heavenly Father, as I come to your Son, Jesus Christ, I want to thank you for today. Heavenly Father, as I come to your Son, Jesus Christ, I want to thank you for today. I thank you for your hand upon my life. I thank you for each person that you brought here safely. I pray, O God, that you continue to bless us and keep us. Watch over our families. I pray, God, that you will guide us and protect us away from the evil of this world. This meeting, O God, I pray, O God, that you have your own divine way. Take complete control in no other name but your sweet and precious name. Amen.
Thank you very much. You can have your seats. Councillor. Yeah. So I want to ask those to the back if you could come a little forward so that you can fill from the front, so as people come in, they wouldn't disturb the meeting. Once again, good night, everyone. I am Councillor Derek Bowen, representing the electoral district of Mondesi. And it's my pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon as we kick off our campaign for the Star Team, led by none other than our political leader and the best Prime Minister this country has ever seen, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. With me tonight as my co-host, and I'll just pause as we welcome MP Ratiram. You join us here, MP. With me tonight is my colleague in council, a young, vibrant councillor, Councillor Javed Mohammed. So let me introduce Javed.
Good night, all. As my colleague said, this is a meeting to endorse the entire team, Kamala Prasad Bisesa and her star-studded team, which comprises of 17 other posts, including the leader, which is 18. 18 positions, and I want to urge you all to support all 18 names with the star next to it. All right? Without any further ado, let me first call on the youth officer of the United National Congress, Mr. Kavish Siulal. This is a young man who has toiled the field And during the pandemic, you would have seen him all over the country bringing relief to those who are really in need. And this is what our leader is about, pushing the youth forward to make a difference. And a lot of youths in Trinidad and Tobago, including myself, has had the opportunity to serve and serve well under her leadership. So I'd like to welcome Kavish, the youth officer of the UNC, to bring greetings.
In tongue, come down, UNC, in tongue, BNM feel the bright, they can win election tonight, come down from there, rowdy.
Good afternoon to the Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Visesa, Senior Counsel, MP Ravi Ratiram, MP Dr. Lakram Bodo, Council members of the various regional corporations, and to you, our UNC soldiers, pleasant good night. My friends, as I stand here tonight, I'll be touching on a couple issues that this PNM government has failed to address. On June 4th, 2022, the Express had an article, "School Fights Down to Zero." And I quote, "School fights are now down to almost zero, following recent measures implemented by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to curb violence and indiscipline in schools." It goes on to say, "At this time, the ministry has seen a decrease in the number of suspensions and serious fights." My friends, I want you all to remember, this was on June 4th. On June 6th, however, varying angles of a very explosive, disorderly, and criminal behavior was circulated on social media, revealing a schoolgirl slashing another schoolgirl's face in a school fight. This is not the first fight that has gone viral since the reopening of physical school. The Minister of Education has been consistently doing nothing except lip service and in her head. All the government policies have failed, and one must question the intent behind these policies. A policy must not just exist in a vacuum and serve no purpose, like the Minister of National Security. It must be effective. In another article on Sunday, 19th June, the Junior Minister of Education, Ms. Lisa Morris-Julian, at a meeting in Lavantil, urged PNM youths to defend the party from UNC attacks. A statement went on to say, "I encourage them to do so on social media by promoting and sharing the posts of the MP, National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines, and by letting the people know the truth." She also said that they needed to defend the PNM political leader, Dr. Rowley, as he was often attacked by the United National Congress. But what exactly are they defending? PNM youths should be reminded not to follow the example We have recently been reminded that the Attorney General's example to young people is also lacking. should be ashamed of wanting young people to defend the failures of PNM. We call on the junior minister to stop gallivanting herself and do her job. Not only school books, but food as well as other things for your family. My friends, on Sunday the 26th of June, we all have a responsibility. Look at every member of the star team. We see experience mixed with youth and also mixed with the children of the United National Congress. We have the likes of MP Hussein, MP Mohit, MP Amin, and MP Ratiram, who are all loyalists to our party. They have never gone outside and will speak our leadership nor the party. And let me make this very, very clear. You attack the leadership of the UNC, you attack the UNC. You attack each one of us here. Every part of this party is operational, from the women's arm actively cementing their voices within the political landscape. The youth arm as well have increased its membership, and I can tell you that we are currently working on data-driven policies for young people, which our MPs will pilot in Parliament. Long ago on the days where arms of a political party are used as cheerleaders, example, the PNM Youth League, the PNM Women's Arm. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, we all champion the cause for economic development, educational opportunities, and security policies. The UNC Youth Arm continues and will continue to be a driving force on behalf of the citizens and youths of Trinidad and Tobago. We must also remember that we need a leader who's decisive, not one who has multiple personalities. One day he's a doctor, the next day he's a Rasta, right? We cannot allow that to happen. We need a strong-headed and strong-minded leader. Then you have the minister of Facebook. You know, there's a saying, once the fox can't reach the grapes, they're saying it's sour. But come Sunday, the star slate and the star team will be victorious. I have no doubt that my brother MP Ravi Ratiram will return as the party organizer. I think we should give MP Ratiram a round of applause because he has been doing a marvelous job setting up meetings after meetings. Sunday isn't just about you and I. It is about the future of our country. It is about the future generation. When we go out to vote on Sunday, remember that we are voting not only for the next political leader, but also the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. My name is Kavish Sumant Sudial, and I wholeheartedly endorse the Honorable Kamla Sushila Prasad Bisesa as the next opposition leader, the next political leader, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I am UNC and proud, you are UNC and proud, we are UNC and proud. One leader, one team. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Kavish. And like Kavish said, you don't get leadership just so. That don't work that way. This is not a puppet show. Right? This is a serious thing, and this is the serious lives of our children we're playing with here. So, again, I am going to echo the same call that my colleague Kavish echoed. We're supporting the star team led by none other than the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, political leader, Jolene Firejohn, deputy political leader, David Lawi Gomes Lee, deputy political leader, and the lion himself, Dr. Ruda Monilal, also contesting as deputy political leader, and the hard-working Dibinjanath Tanku as chairman of our great party. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to call a young lady to the microphone, and I call her young because I know I'll get her lunch for that. So I'd like to introduce to you all. You will know how she's her pot and pan all by Pinal Market and thing, hustling food and thing. And she's one of the hardest working young councillors at the Supervisional Corporation. Let me introduce to you Councillor Ramona Victor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bowen. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Honorable Political Leader, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, members of the STAR team, my UNC family, good evening. Persons in Rousillac, special good afternoon to you. UNC family, I want to take you all back to 2010, that period during 2010 to 2015, when our visionary leader, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, began distributing lands to farmers who was producing, but they had no land tenure. The distribution of these lands was implemented to encourage farmers to plant their own food, as well as to contribute to food security in Trinidad and Tobago. I can tell you of the Timital farmers, which these farmers are within my electoral district, Superior East, San Francisco South. They benefited from 5-acre plots. The farmers' lands are well cultivated. However, these farmers have been making numerous attempts to the present government just to get an access road. But I'll tell you, 7 years has passed, and to date, nothing from this present PNM government. If this government had vision and had continued the focus on agriculture, our food import bill would have been less. Brothers and sisters, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, she has a track record for performance. Under the guidance of Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Siparia and environs, we benefited from one of the best markets in Trinidad and Tobago. The Siparia market has 168 stalls for vegetables, meats, and agricultural products. We also have a multi-purpose conference hall that can accommodate just over 500 persons. We also have 10 booths that give entrepreneurs a safe and affordable space to vend. Kamala Persad-Bissessar also constructed the Daisy Voisin Hub, which allows for entrepreneurs to vend as well. Kamala Persad-Bissessar government developed the Irwin Park Sporting Complex in Siparia, which allows for football, cricket, boxing, and cycling. Despite the neglect from this present government to maintain the Irwin Park facility remains one of the most utilized recreation grounds. We, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, we continue to benefit from the Siparia Health Facility, which was reconstructed under Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration, which gives us service, us, the Trinidad and Tobago, the citizens. We get 24 hours service from the Siparia Health Facility. This could have not been done without Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Let us never forget the roads that was paved for the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Remember the amount of box drains that she built just to eliminate flooding. While the PNM government called the partnership the box drain government, Kamala Persad-Bissessar had the vision to build box drain to decrease flooding within the areas. UNC family, because of Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her STAR team, Trinidad and Tobago now has hope. I, Ramona Victor, Councillor for the Electoral District of Siparia East, San Francisco South, endorse and support Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and her entire STAR team. I look forward for growth and development in Trinidad and Tobago. I look forward for reduction in crime. I look forward for food security in Trinidad and Tobago. I look forward to Trinidad and Tobago to have a government where the government cares about the people. I look forward for where Trinidad and Tobago education is more affordable. UNC family, our country can return to good governance if we go out in our numbers on the 26th of June 2022 and vote for Kamala Prasad Bisesa and her entire STAR team. Members, we have an opportunity to tell Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, thank you. The way how we is telling her thank you is by going out there and giving her the full support for the entire STAR team. Let us make Trinidad and Tobago a better place. We are the ones to determine the destiny of our country. Currently, we live in a country where in dry season, no water in the taps of residents, but yet still, when it's rainy season, most of our residents are losing their assets due to flooding. Where is the vision of this present government? So all the time Kamala government was box train government, but where's the vision of this government for when the rain falls? TNT, enough is enough. Crime must never be an option for our citizens to maintain their family. Together, we can work to eliminate this present government and return good governance to Trinidad and Tobago. Let's start the process. Let's support the team of stars to strengthen our party. Kamala Prasad Bisesa has chosen the best persons for the job at hand. And we will work with a team of stars to return our country, Trinidad and Tobago, to good governance. On June 26, we will start the process to rebuild, to restore, and to save Trinidad and Tobago. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the STAR team, we will empower you on June 26. There is no other choice for Trinidad and Tobago. One team, one leader, one party, one nation, under God. I thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you fully that we are waiting patiently for the return of Kamala Prasad Bisesa in office as the Prime Minister, because ladies and gentlemen, if you look around here tonight, we are in the Rousillac Community Center, which is housing the Rousillac Hindu School. In 2010 to 2015, our leader with the care for youths and education has started the building of the new school lower down, that the construction that was actually, that school burnt by fire. And in 2015, as soon as UNC demitted office, this government stopped all construction. From 2015 to now, we have over 185 students crammed in this space. Make it even worse, they have to battle the COVID-19 and ensure that they are safe to learn. This is an environment that is not suited for learning. As you all can tell, it's hot. Everybody is feeling that, right? So our leader, with her vision for the youths, not only provided laptops, she also ensured that they had the space, the schools for the students to attend. At this time, I want to recognize Councillor for Avocat San Francisco North, Councillor Dudnat Meru, and Chairman of the Siparia Regional Corporation, Mr. Dinesh Sankar Singh. Mr. Sankar Singh, I'd like to invite you to say a few words, bring greetings.
Thank you so very much, Chairman, my two hard-working councillors and the Superior Regional Corporation. Member of Parliament for the constituency of Faizabad, Dr. Lakrampi Bodo. Member of Parliament for Couva, my hard-working good friend Ravi Ratiram. Fellow councillors of the Superior Regional Corporation, any other MPs that may be here or listening. Of course, our visionary, hard-working and dedicated political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. A very pleasant good evening. It gives me great pleasure, honor and privilege to stand here to address you this afternoon. This center here, this place here, has great historical and significant meaning, as Ravi would aptly tell you. We started off here when all my hair was black and it was a thick, full head of hair. Probably something like Meru. When we were young and we started our trek and our hard work with this party, we gave of ourselves. I served as chairman of the La Brea constituency for many years and now as chairman of the Faizabad constituency. I tell you this, not to make you feel that I am important. I tell you this because of my dedication and commitment to the party and to the vision of the party for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Friends, I want you to remember, and I always remind you, you remember when you were young and you had your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I remember how good it was. What stands out in your memories? It is the best times of your life. I want you to remember that period that we were in government under Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa as our political leader, but more so as our Prime Minister. Friends, I dare say to you, never before in the history of our country had so much been done for so many people in such a short space of time. Delivering the goods and services, roads that we had never seen repatching were repatched, areas that never saw any development was developed under Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Areas in agriculture, because you know they look down agriculture and figure it's for a poor man profession. But agriculture is what will sustain our country, was given the attention it deserves. National security, enlisting qualified people to lead this country. Friends, Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her visionary team is the one. And I want you to remember that we must never forget the good times. And how do we get back the good times? We have to go back and get the people who created the good times for us. You understand? I work with Dr. Lakrampi Bodo, a man who is dedicated and committed. You could get him 24 hours a day. I wanted to say 25 hours a day. Always available, always on the street, always working. Now, one of the reasons why you see my physical disability now, and I cannot be as active as I used to be. But one of the reasons I made it my duty to be here tonight is because of my friend Ravi. Ravi and I have been struggling together in opposition for many years. Ravi fought La Brea, correct? And I will tell you, knowing you may not win the seat, but Ravi give it to them good. And we fought them, and we fought them, and we fought them. And today I'm so proud and happy to see my good friend Ravi as your Member of Parliament for Couva. You could not have a stronger, better representative, a man who is committed and dedicated for working for the people. Friends, politicians, when we start to talk, we don't stop. But I just want to say, I fully endorse the entire team, the STAR team, headed by the very beloved, lovely Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. You know, and I always tell you, when Mrs. Prasad Bisesa started off in her politics, she first served as an alderman, or some may remember that, an alderman at the Superior Regional Corporation. One of the very first meetings she had was with us in Quarry Village in Kokaram House. Those of you who know Quarry Village. Just a few buildings before the Erin Road Presbyterian Primary School. As alderman, and you know your dad and your boy had a little crush on her, you understand? But then Dr. Bisesa was there, so you couldn't say anything. But it is a respectful crush. Up to now, my admiration for her remains and has grown. She has led this country, and she has a solid team behind her. I want to fully endorse the team led by Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and every single candidate on that team. Let me say it again, for those of you who didn't hear me. Every single candidate on that team, especially my friend Ravi Ratiram. We could not ask for more dedicated, committed people. We at the Superior Regional Corporation will continue to work on your behalf and deliver the goods and services to you as best as possible. They starve us for cash, but we keep fighting. But I can tell you, if this team continues to perform as they have been doing, when we take back government, can you imagine how much goods and services they deliver for the people of Trinidad and Tobago? How better our lives would be? So as I tell you, always remember, never before in the history of country has so much been done for so many people as when we were in government under Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And she has a golden slate now. I fully endorse the slate. I fully endorse the candidacy of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And I want you all on Sunday, already won, everybody around me, on Sunday, we have to be out there, given our limited capacity, given my limited thing, I will be there struggling to ensure that it's what word to use, boy, it's a magnificent victory for Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her team. I thank you so very much.
Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there, Rowley. Rowley, come down, come down. UNC, in tongue, in tongue.
All that you have heard here thus far, I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times. And we keep saying this to you, elections have consequences. Things that we were enjoying in 2010 and 2015, we took for granted. And I'll tell you something that probably you all don't know. The United National Congress is not in government because of about 2,000 votes. Only you know that, right? Because 2,000 of our members, our supporters say, we don't win already. And I'll tell you something, that is what that is killed me. Because all of us assume we don't win already. And that is why we're here with $1 million pothole from Overpush to Rousillac and $4 million to Faizabad. That is why we're going through that. We would have spoken about the development, hospitals, schools, police stations, box, you name it. It happened between 2010 and 2015. There's no question in that. You can physically see those things. Have you seen any development in this country in the last 7 years? No. Well, crime has developed tremendously. And that is what we're talking about when we say election have consequences. We want to tell you here tonight, this is a membership election. If you are not a member and you know somebody who's a member, tell them go and vote. Don't assume anything. Don't sit at home and say, I'm not going to beat them. We don't want that. What we want is large numbers to give our political leader a mandate and to give her the energy to keep fighting on our behalf. That's what we want. So I want to urge you, don't sit at home and don't go out the single win or this one and the boy contesting. Go and vote for everybody. All 18. It doesn't matter. You go, that's taking 2 minutes out of your life. That will save your child, your grandchild life somewhere down the road. So take that time out and do that. At this time, let me invite Councillor Dudnat Meru to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. All members of Parliament, councillors, chairman of the corporation, and our beautiful people of Rousillac and environs. You are here today because of the importance of this election in Sunday will determine if we can rescue Trinidad and Tobago from the hands of the PNM. The rescue mission to save Trinidad and Tobago begins on Sunday, the 26th of June. You would recall, as most of the speakers have indicated, where we were between 2010 and 2015. Remember when Kamla Prasad Bisesa warned you in 2015, do not make a mistake and allow PNM to come into office. The people of this country did not heed that call. She warned you again in 2020, and we didn't heed that call. And you know, sometimes what I believe, our own supporters are sometimes our own enemies. We fight, we quarrel. I ain't like Kamla, I ain't like Ravi, I ain't like Bodo, I ain't like Derek. You like the price of bread today? You like the price of flour? You like all the pothole all over Trinidad? You like the fact that you cannot get water in your pipe? Forget who you like and who you don't like. Forget that clean. Now is a time for us to come together as a team to save and rescue this country. What have we gotten from 2015 to 2022 besides crime, corruption, high food prices, bad roads, you name it? Everything have fallen apart under this government. And we still hearing people say, hey, Kamla can't win no election. Are you happy with Rowley? Are you happy with Rowley as Prime Minister? Have Rowley done the job that you wanted him to do? Well, why do we have all these negative comments that this one can't win and that one can't win and we can? Listen, man, come down from there. UNC supporters need to unite and get together and come back. Now, let me tell you, they say Kamla lost. Me and they counting how much election Kamla lost. Kamla could vote herself to win a general election, or the people in the country have to come out and support the party and support Kamla to rescue this country. If the supporters in this country and the people who are suffering still cannot see UNC as the alternative government, something seriously wrong with our people in Trinidad. We always keep making excuses. Why we don't like this one? Why we don't? Let me tell you something. Even in opposition now, the UNC is 1,000 times better than that waste of time PNM government we have since 2015. You have heard during the course of this campaign by Dr. Munilal the kind of corruption, $300-400 million in corruption. A contractor make $1 million in 24 hours. And some people couldn't buy bread before it gone up. I hear a man talking in a shop today. He said they might have to start opening them sliced bread and selling them by the slice because people cannot afford to buy a whole bread in this country. And today they are blaming it because it's a global thing. Food price going up all over the world. But I want to tell them something. There are countries in this world today that food prices were very low. And if even it went up, it has not impacted those countries like it has impacted our citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. All this PNM is concerned about is filling their pockets and filling the pocket of their friends. They are doing nothing. Look at the condition of roads in this area here. Rousillac, Grand Trace, Avocat, Oropuch, Faizabad, Siparia, Pinal. How do you call that? Rohan Sinanan told Dr. Boro yesterday, all your road good man. Rohan, you're living in the sky. You're not living in Trinidad. It's a waste of time for a minister of works. Come down to south and see the condition of the roads. How many of you drive through San Francisco? There are some landslips there. If you see it, you're afraid to even pass with your car because you feel you will go wrong while your car passing on it. This government is a waste of time. They are too corrupt. They have spent over $350 billion. What have they to show for it? When we tell them we build 106 schools, they want to know where they. When Tim Gopi sing, show them the 106 schools. They're still saying they see it. You know what them seeing? Them only seeing money in the pocket. When they could buy an apartment and get $300,000 discount, and a man can't even build a house for $50,000 in this country. That is where we have reached today. And I am calling on our supporters, come back home. Forget who you don't like. Come back home. We need to rescue this country. We have to rescue this country. If we do not rescue this country, we would have failed our children, our grandchildren, and the future of this country will be non-existent. There will be no future for generations to come. So I am begging our supporters today, come down, forget who you all like. Now is the time to close ranks, all hands on deck. Join Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her slate of the stars, and let us start preparing from Monday 27th to rescue Trinidad and Tobago. That is our mission. Most of you would have seen a big protest down in Orapooch 2 days ago. Dr. Boro, myself, Javin and Derek was there, and there was serious confrontation between an estate police and myself. Today I got news that they are looking at those tapes to arrest me. I tell them, come and lock me up. Come and lock me up. I will still stand with my people because I was elected to do that. And I will continue to protest against this wicked PNM government as long as I have life. They are a waste of time. So if they feel they could threaten me and tell me they will lock me up and I will stay quiet and not continue to protest, they have something else coming. They will really have to throw me in jail and throw away the key. And I'm waiting on all you at home. I live in Akbar Trace. Come and get me. All you come. I am not scared because I stand up and I fight for people that elect me into office. And I learned from Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the best political leader we have ever seen, the best prime minister we have ever seen. She raised pension, she raised disability. When she raised that, it's not UNC supporters get it, PNM people get it too. Everybody benefited. And if you hear them PNM today, they're seeing PNM thieving, you know. They're seeing PNM thieving, you know. Everybody else in the country is thief. And they're walking away with the whole treasury, them PNM. So get off there, come down, and make sure Sunday you support Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her slate, the stars, to make sure from Monday we get ready to move Rowley and this wicked, corrupt PNM government. I thank you.
Yes, Councillor, very passionate, dynamic Councillor of the Siparia Regional Corporation. So the next 5 individuals who will be tasked to rescue this country from this wicked government are the next 5 star candidates. Deputy Chairman Khadija Amin, Policy and Strategy Officer Sean Sobers, Education Officer Vandana Mohit, Research Officer Saddam Hussein, and Elections Officer Don Sylvester. So we're coming out on Sunday and putting your X by all 18 stars in full support of Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her star team to take Trinidad and Tobago into better governance. Right, coming up next, we have a dynamic speaker. A dynamic speaker, a man who takes his government to task in the parliament when it comes to our health sector. A man who is on the ground and ensuring that his constituents are treated fairly like all the other constituents in the northern side of Trinidad and Tobago. A man who has been there as the CEO of the Southwest Regional Health Authority, a man who has overseen the teaching hospital and instill a lot of measures to ensure that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are treated fairly and up to mark at our hospitals in the Southwest Regional Health Authority district. Let us put our hands together to welcome Dr. MP, the Honorable Lakram Bodo.
Thank you very much, Javed, the sitting councillor for OTT Rousillac. A very good evening to you, UNC members and residents of Rousillac, I'm very pleased and very happy to be here amongst you this evening. A very special good night to the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, political leader of the United National Congress, the best Prime Minister this country has ever seen, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to take the time, of course, to recognize Councillor Derek Boren, who is also councillor for part of this electoral district in the La Brea area, and of course, a very hard-working activist and coordinator for the La Brea area, the one and only Victor Roberts. And of course, to my right is our very dynamic, hard-working, newest councillor in the Sipara Regional Corporation, Councillor Ramona Victor. And of course, you just heard from one of our hardest working and most vociferous councillors in the Sipara Regional Corporation. And you can understand, my brothers and sisters here, why we have councillors who are motivated, to fight for the people. And of course, I want you to give a special round of applause to the very hard-working councillor, Councillor Dunat Meru. As part of that protest earlier this week, I saw a man who was prepared on behalf of the people he represents to stand up for what was right. The residents of that area in Harris Village, South Oropouche, have been suffering for a long time to get the road repaired, and WASA has been promising and promising and did not get it done. And of course, I want to recognize the chairman of the Sipara Regional Corporation, Chairman Dinesh Sankar Singh. We heard earlier from the youth officer of the United National Congress, NATEX, Kabir Sidia. Let's welcome him again. And of course, I'm here tonight, my dear friends, UNC members, to speak in support of Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the STAR team. And we'll go into why that is an important election on Sunday. We have a very important job to do. Others have alluded to it. But I'm here especially to recognize and to support my colleague in the Parliament, the MP for Couva North, somebody who you're very familiar with. Let's give it up for MP Ravi Ratiram. Current party organizer and the next party organizer, the IC, of the NATEX. So we are here, brothers and sisters, because what is happening on Sunday is very important. We have another 3 years, or less, I hope. I think it's going to be less. But we have another 3 years to change this government. And the ones who have spoken before me have given the various reasons why this government needs to go. In fact, you don't need any more reasons, do you? Well, they fed up already, right? I'm sure. So it's time to go. But when that moment comes, it's very important to have the right people to take us back into government. And that starts with the right political leader of a party. Now, there has been talk, in this campaign about you could have one leader for the NATEX and one leader in the Parliament. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I want to say to you that it's important to have the right leader, because the strength in the Parliament comes from the support of the National Executive with the caucus and the support in building the party and so on. So those of you who have heard that argument, forget about it. Many of you have not heard about it. It's not important. What I'm saying to you is that the election on Sunday, it is very important to give our political leader the clearest mandate, so she can have that job, she can have that mandate going forward to take us back into government when the time is right. You see, we in the Parliament, and the next party organizer and the Couva North MP is the Shadow Minister for Agriculture. And as a new MP in the Parliament, he has proven himself to be very hardworking, very astute, and he also is prepared in his own special way to stand up to the PNM. I want to invite you, especially when there are committee meetings and so on. Budget time coming up in October. I want you to watch Ravi Ratiram. There's a session called the Standing Finance Committee, where you get a chance to question every item that the PNM brings on the budget and to ask them to explain what they're going to spend that for and why. And this man here is an expert at that. I invite you to watch him come October budget, when the budget is around. But I was going to make the point that in the Parliament, and the party has been getting stronger. And as Councillor Meru said, listen, whatever differences we have, it is now the time to unite and get behind one leader. It's one party. Yeah? So that's important, one team. But why is it important? Why is the PNM on the back seat right now? Why are they on the back seat? There are two singular events, recent events, right, that I think are very important in the national psyche. And the first one has to do with Minister and the MP Foster Cummins. But why does that come to the forefront? That has come to the forefront because the information, people trust the political leader of the United National Congress and the opposition leader with information because they know that she will use that information, once verified, to do what is important and what is right. To call out those on the other side, you know, who are there in the parliament, who are there in government, pretending to serve the people, but they really and truly are only serving themselves. And of course, the biggest scandal to hit this country right now is the issue of this Attorney General. Now you have to understand, the two most important people in a government is the Prime Minister and the Attorney General. Those are the only two people by the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago that are required to form a cabinet. And therefore, when you have an Attorney General whose performance is suspect and people have lost confidence and lost faith, then the whole question of the governance of the country and the government comes into question. And of course, our political leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, has been very instrumental, has been very much in the forefront to raise those issues and to put the PNM on the back foot. And I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we will see the resignation of the current Attorney General. And of course, you remember very well that in the pandemic, in the early days of the pandemic, Kamla Prasad Bisesa was at the forefront. Javed spoke about the achievements in the health sector and so on, but she was at the forefront of getting the vaccines for the people. In fact, she was not afraid to beg for vaccines. She so cared about the population. She was so concerned when that COVID-19 pandemic hit us that she was prepared to do whatever was required. And you all will remember, you know, sometimes our memories are short and we could forget easily. But don't forget, it was her who ensured that we got the gift of vaccines through Barbados, but from India, and then with further pressure and so on, the vaccines came about and whatnot. But, you know, as an outgoing deputy political leader, I want to focus a little bit on what I have seen in the performance of those members who are going back up. Some have been there before, others are going up. And party organizer is a very critical role in the NATEX. A party is held together by somebody, you know, who has the skills, the talent, the ability, the time, and the inclination to do the job. And this man here, my colleague, current party organizer and member of parliament, I have seen his stamina, I have seen his ability to do the job. He's a man, you know, you could call at any hour, you know. What time you go to bed, Ravi? 4 o'clock and wake up at 6, so you could call him any time. He's always calling you as well to ensure that whatever events, you know, when you see those events that come about by the party and they look nice and thing, it don't be so easy, you know. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of organization that goes into it. So I have no doubt that Ravi Ratiram is capable and competent to remain, to be the next party organizer of the United National Congress, NATEX, and I want to fully endorse his candidacy. And I want to urge you to come out on Sunday, the 26th, when you have the opportunity. Members who are here, make sure and tell your friends and your family and so on. That is a very important election. I also want to endorse Don Sylvester, who is the other person who is contested as elections officer. He is part of the STAR team. And of course, when you look at the STAR team, you have a team that is full of confidence, full of competence. And therefore, when you go out to do your vote on Sunday, that is very important that you put your X along all the stars for the STAR team. I just want to close. The chairman of the Sipa Regional Corporation reflected a bit on the performance between 2010 and 2015. And I want to say to you, having worked as the chairman of the Southwest Regional Health Authority under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, then Prime Minister, and having worked with her in the parliament as a member of parliament for Faizabad for 7 years now, and having worked in the executive under her leadership for the last year and a half, yeah, I'm very convinced that she remains the only choice to go back as the political leader of the United National Congress and to take us back into government and to become the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Kamla Prasad Bisesa has work to do. The job is unfinished. whatever happened in 2015, there was a lot of things that remain unfinished, but this government chose not to finish, and there's one example that you must never forget, and that is the example of the Couva Hospital, the Couva Children's Hospital. You know, from 2015, when the government changed, we heard all kind of old talk, but this was a construction site. It wasn't ready. My brothers and sisters, never for a moment believe that that is true. As the chairman of Southwest RHA, I personally was there, involved in the overseeing of that hospital, and I can give you assurance that it was fully constructed and ready to be operationalized on the 14th of August 2015 when we defeated government. But you know, if you don't believe me, think about what happened when the pandemic took place. How long did it take for this PNM government to decide that, you know what, they could have used the Couva Children's Hospital? No more than 2 weeks, a mere 2 weeks. So what does that tell you? It means that for the previous 5 years, you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you, the population, on both sides, PNM and UNC, right, would have been denied the facility, that excellent facility with state-of-the-art equipment at the Couva Hospital. So never forget that. That is one of the greatest atrocities that has been perpetrated on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And, you know, she was a leader who delivered all over the place. You know, we talk about the Couva Hospital, but, you know, one of the first projects she completed was the Scarborough Hospital. Many of us don't know that, you know. In 2010, when she took government, you know, she asked what projects need to be completed, and Scarborough Hospital was incomplete. Chairman, she took it upon herself to ensure that that hospital was completed in Scarborough, in Tobago. That was the first project. And of course, the project that has helped so many of us, especially in the southern region, is the San Fernando Teaching Hospital, which was completed in 2014 and now continues to serve all of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So my brothers and sisters, as I close again, I want to ask you to go out in your numbers, bring out your families, your friends, make sure, you know, they're members, of course. This is an internal election. And to put your star by Kamala Prasad Bisesa, to put your X by Kamala Prasad Bisesa, the superstar, and of course, your X by the other members of the star team, and of course, make sure, especially, and put your X for our dear brother and resident of this area. Ravi is well known in this area, of course. Make sure and put your X for Ravi Ratiram, for party organizer. My brothers and sisters, I thank you.
Come down from there, Rowley. Come down from there. Hands where you come down. You're going on the beat of some mama guy, poor people. Good, you get wet down. Shampa always in a zest. Least possible development.
I want to talk about the names again on the slate. We have Mr. Neil Gosain, who will be contesting as the treasurer. And if you all know Neil, he's a quiet, calm, and confident young man. And I know he'll do a fantastic job in that portfolio. Ravi, always on the go, Ratiram, party organizer. Nicholas Morris, a young man, when you see him, he is absolutely exuberant confidence. And you know that's an ambitious young man as our international relations officer. And Anil Roberts, need I say more? So we all know about Anil and Anil's competence. Let me ask you something. I'll never get up in the morning over the last 7 minutes and get up and say, oh God, again? How much did that happen to? That happens to me every morning. Because every time I get up in the morning, when you think that the can't go lower, is something again to distress you. You just imagine a couple of days ago, we had 10 murders in one day. 10 murders. Just imagine that. I have a 21-year-old son, and it scares me when he's outside. I am petrified when he's not home. And I'm sure all of you who have children experience that. This is not easy. Are we going to take more of this? We have the power, you all. We have the power, you know. I don't think you all realize the kind of power you all have, you know. There are people in parts of the world killed for what the power that we have, the power to vote. And most of us don't exercise that for pretty foolish reasons. Time comes to stop that. Election have consequences. Our next speaker is a gentleman who has become nationally known. Now, he have a record. He might not like it, but I will still say it. He's the only person in the entire world that I have ever known that came one contest the election get the same amount of votes as the man who contested last time. That has never happened nowhere in the world. I've got figure in my head 5,365, it can't leave my head. I don't know how that was even possible. But I worked with this gentleman for about a month in his La Brea campaign. And he left me in awe. And since then, this gentleman has been working feverishly all over Trinidad and Tobago, representing anybody who calls on him. And I'm extremely proud tonight to introduce to you Mr. Victor Roberts.
Honorable political leader, members of parliament, councillors, youth chairman, chairmans, and our distinguished guests, pleasant good night. Tonight, as I stand before you, I stand here to explain to you as to why it is so important to come out on Sunday and place your X by the star team, the Kamla Prasad Bisesa team. Anything outside of the star team is not what you should support at this time. And while I understand the ambitions of those who will seek office, I am saying to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that the leader of this great party have selected the individuals in which she need to rescue this country from the hands of the Keith Rowley administration. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, ladies and gentlemen, in her wisdom, who have worked with each and every member of that team that we are asking you to support on Sunday. She knows that they are the people that she needs in order to fulfill the requirement of rescuing this country from a government who cares absolutely nothing about you, the people. This election on Sunday is not just about selecting a star team with a superstar leader. This election must speak volume. This election, ladies and gentlemen, it is an election where you, the people, must come out in your numbers to send that message that Kamla Prasad Bisesa and every member of her team, it is what is needed at this point in time to save your generation. We have seen, ladies and gentlemen, a prime minister who stood up on a number of occasions and blatantly lied to you, the population of this country. We have seen a prime minister, ladies and gentlemen, who have conspired with a president and a chairman of a police service commission and collapsed the entire process of a commissioner of police. Hence the reason today crime continues to be out of control. We have seen a prime minister who closed down the bargaining chip of this country, which was Petrotrin, an organization that owns Forex, an organization that provides food for you, your family, your children, your grandchildren, and your unborn babies. We have seen a prime minister who stood up and closed down Petrotrin to save
his friend and financiers of the PNM. We have seen a prime minister who, while was abroad, took a phone and called his financiers and other individuals, questioning and sending a message to the population that these individuals were his friends. We have seen the Prime Minister on TV and on radio stood up and said to us that he have called Bash and Dilki Singh and questioned as what he said, question what was happening. He was saying to us that he was not aware, even though he had a line minister at the time who was Stuart Young, even though he have a board in which he have appointed, yet to the end of the day, he called those who were the subjects of this investigation, sending a message to the investigators that these are my friends. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the Prime Minister, while he is outside probably eating shrimps and playing golf, not caring about you, the citizens. Why Kamla Prasad Bisesa had demonstrated over the years that she is someone who cares. Kamla have demonstrated that she is for all citizens, every creed and race, any ethnic background that you came from. Kamla Prasad Bisesa provided for you. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen an Attorney General who went in a Miami court, stood up under oath and lied, and today he chose to defend his lies by revoking Section 34. But I am saying today, I want to tell Attorney General Amor that you cannot fool the people of this country, because Kamla Prasad Bisesa took action and fired a sitting minister, a cabinet minister, for that Section 34 situation. So while you went and lied in the court, whether it is to save your ex-friends who came out of the bowels of the PNM, today we are saying to you, Mr. Attorney General, that you is shameless. You have no moral value to be sitting as Attorney General in our country. And I am saying, under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that Attorney General would have been fired already. We have seen under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, where there were allegations, Kamla took the position and removed those individuals, sending them to clear their names and return. That is what leadership is about. Today we have a youth minister who we understand allegedly continue to grab lands from Karani. We have a youth minister who cannot give an account for $4.4 million allegedly. We have a youth minister who cheat in an exam allegedly. But today, that is the individual that Keith Rowley put as the youth minister in this country. What example can this individual set for your children? And this is why Kamla Prasad Bisesa is important. We want transparency in government. We want accountability in government. We are saying that every crime, you who perpetrate any such crime against the citizenry of this country, you must be held account. And that is the leader that we are asking you to support. A leader who will stand up. A leader who have more fortitude than Keith Rowley. A leader who will fight a battle day or night in the parliament, outside the parliament, on the streets, and the team. When we see Ravi Ratiram, the individual who contested the post while outgoing as party organizer, we have seen and understood without a doubt that this gentleman have walked through the rank and file of this party. It wasn't just jumping, and those who the leader removed and believe because an election is at hand that they could jump in. Well, we must send a message that this party is about building. This party is under one leader. This party, ladies and gentlemen, will stand strong, and the detractors in this party would not be able to keep the UNC down. This UNC under Kamla Prasad Bisesa have been tested and tried. And today we have seen what Kamla had done for you, the people in this country. Today we are seeing a prime minister who sits and enjoy himself wherever he is in the world today. We have seen a report by the Judith Jones where high-ranking PNM officials continue to abuse young boys and girls in these homes together with some religious leaders. And today, when we tell ourselves that Keith Rowley would go to the US and ask Joe Biden, president, to assist with the FBI so we can bring those perpetrators who abuse our children to justice. Today, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is forthcoming. This government shelved that report for over 6 months, not a word, until it was exposed by the UNC. And today, ladies and gentlemen, our children continue to be abused while Keith Rowley enjoys himself on whatever so-called medical trip that he is on. And that is why Kamla Prasad Bisesa is important. Every one of you sitting in this room here today who have a child, a grandchild, a great-grand, you would have known that Kamla had made it easy for you. Kamla had brought policies to the table where you would be able to afford, where your child would have a laptop, where you would have get free books, where the school feeding program, when you could not provide. Some of you who may be single mothers, Kamla Prasad Bisesa provided a grant for you. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was like the fairy godmother to this country. And what we did in 2015 and in 2020, I am saying the time has come for us to redeem ourselves. The time has come where we could stand together and we could redeem ourselves by voting Sunday for the star team and Kamla Prasad Bisesa, where you would be able to enjoy life once more in this country. Stand strong, ladies and gentlemen. Support the star team. Support Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Long live my political leader, a lady who don't fear to fight on behalf of you. I urge you, come Sunday, come out in your numbers. If you don't get car, walk as Rousillac. Everybody knows somebody. Come out in your numbers and vote for every single star team member. And anybody who is not a star, consider them to be pitch. You know when a star pitch, what has happened? You see it and then you see it again. Well, that is what some of those individuals are. They are a fallen star. And when that star falls, because they fall away from the real star. So don't try to jump by the side of the fence. Don't try to jump through the roof. Don't try to jump through the window. Come back in, as Meru said, Counselor. Come back in the party and fight and build and redeem yourself, and then make yourself available for any candidacy, and you may very well get support. God bless you. Good night.
You see what I meant when I said I was in awe? That's the kind of vibrancy that La Brea let go to waste because they voted for a billboard that the PNM put up a couple days before election. I wonder how that stadium going for you. Are there plenty sports there yet? Election have consequences. So the other members on the slate, let me go through it again. Mr. Eli Zacco, Northwest Regional Representative. Barry Peppermouth Padarat, Central Regional Representative. Shanti Brigade, Budram, South Regional Representative. And of course, Tahaka Obika, the Tobago Regional Representative. So, Doc, I will ask you a question. What is the favorite? CAT scan, they call that one? Right. Yeah, so I heard my good friend Victor mentioned we have seen the Prime Minister, but we ain't seen him a long time, eh? I understand he's doing some medical tests. So the only test I think when Dr. Gopi Singh mentioned was a CAT scan that could take so long. But I understand today the results came back in and it read MIA. So he should be home shortly then, because that's the end of that there. So let me invite my colleague, Councillor Mohammed, to introduce the other speaker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker is a man that we know very well, a man that we love in this area, one of our very own, born and bred in the Rousillac district, the man who has given himself to service of community and country, a man who is giving himself once more to represent and is representing on the star slate for party organizer come Sunday, when you put your X next to his name and the entire star slate under the leadership of the political leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa, our very own Mr. MP Ravi Ratiram.
Feel the bright, they can win election tonight. Come down from there, roll.
Let me get some music there.
Come down from there, roll it. Come down from there. I just want to warn you before the mixing would concern you. They went like keto and voodoo for the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice, 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery the food price high, give we 2% and feed me with lie. That man can mama. PNM feel the bright, they can win election tonight. Come down from there, roll it. Come down from there, roll it. Take me to with that vibe. Champa go to them, they not nice. Come down from there, roll it. Come down from there, roll it.
Honorable political leader who is tuned in our live and is with us here tonight through the social media. Let us give her a Rousillac La Brea welcome. The best Prime Minister that this country has ever had, Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Our Member of Parliament for Faizabad, who is here with us tonight. We welcome you to Rousillac La Brea. We thank you for being here with us. Let us welcome Dr. Lakram Bodo. This gentleman fought the last general election, and I will tell you, after that fight, after that battle in 2020, he has not slept for a single day. He continued to fight the PNM day and night. Let's give it up for my brother, Victor Roberts. Chairman of the Siparia Regional Corporation, and all councillors here with us tonight, Councillor Meru, Councillor Bowen, Councillor Javid, Councillor Ramona Victor, I thank you all very much for coming here tonight, and let us also welcome the chairman of the youth arm of the United National Congress, who came all the way here to Rousillac to be with us, Keve Siudial. Thank you and good night to you. And we must also show our appreciation for this gentleman who is also with us tonight. He does not miss a single UNC activity. Actually, through him, we have been able to launch the UNC TV, which he will be telling you more after this internal election. But let us show our appreciation for William Archie and all our brothers who are part of the technology team that is online providing the technical support. And my brothers and sisters, for those of you all who are joining us online, and those of you all who have come out in your numbers here tonight at the Rousillac Community Center, I want to say to you tonight, my brothers and sisters, that it is persons like yourself, even though we are in opposition, You have not abandoned the struggle. You have stayed with us. You remain the bedrock and the foundation of this party. You are the salt of the UNC. Our street captains, PD leaders, area managers, those of you in your masses here tonight, it is persons like you who have placed our party in 2010 into government, and it is persons like you who will take us back into government. So give yourselves a round of applause, brothers and sisters. I see my brother Sunil is with us. I see Uncle Satnarayan Maharaj is here with us. I see members and representatives of the Julip Singh family, of the Solomon family, of the St. Hill family, and so many families here in this community of Rousillac, Otohiti, La Brea. Continue to support this great United National Congress, my brothers and sisters. Despite we are in the opposition and we are seeing some lonely and difficult times, you continue to place your faith into the greatest and the most compassionate leader this country has ever had, because we believe in the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Let's give it up for her. My brothers and sisters, I have spoken and it would have been broadcast online, but I want to share with you tonight that in this country what we are seeing, and Meru and the councillors have been holding their demonstration and their protests, we have seen gross squandermania and mismanagement of our economy by this uncaring, incompetent and waste of time Rowley-led PNM administration. When the councillors begging for material to help to fix your roads because local government is being starved under this PNM administration for resources, we see over $22 billion spent by the Ministry of Works and Transport under that incompetent, lazy Rohan Sinanan. We have seen over $7 billion spent by the Ministry of Agriculture under that failed minister, Clarence Rambarat. Is a good thing Rowley get rid of he. But we have 3 more big failures sitting in office there. And nothing is happening to assist our farmers, our fisher folk, who every day they are at the mercy of the criminal element, whether it is pre-deal larceny or whether it is piracy out at the high seas. Where under this PNM administration, my brothers and sisters, right in the constituency of Couva North, lives have been lost, lives that could have been saved, my brothers and sisters. We must never forget, and we must staple that to the bosom of Keith Rowley and his band of misfits. And that is why I say, as soon as that election is called, Rowley and the PNM must go. Under this Rowley administration, brothers and sisters, over $375 billion has already been spent in this country from 2015 to now. And what do we have to see for it? What are we seeing for it, my brothers and sisters? Absolutely nothing. May you say goat pen, where they had to taste carnival with. But Rowley know about goat pen. That is why sometimes the political leader just tell the rest of them, pat down and go and walk your goat. But we will deal with that on another occasion. Tonight, my brothers and sisters, I want to share with you the distinct difference between the PNM and between the People's Partnership Administration, because we were led by the most caring, compassionate leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, my brothers and sisters. You see, I mentioned to you how much money has been wasted, and we can't say anything. We can't see anything. But while Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was our Prime Minister, my brothers and sisters, this country, during that 5 years, we saw development like never before, brothers and sisters. Dr. Bodo made mention of the Couva Children Hospital. Also, under his watch, under the watch of Dr. Bodo, as the chairman of the Southwest Regional Health Authority, we saw the UE Medical Students Facility in San Fernando for our students. We saw the San Fernando Teaching Hospital being constructed right here in San Fernando, brothers and sisters. Under our leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, between 2010 to 2015, I want to remind you of the UE campus in Debe. Now, this is a very important issue that I want to share with you, because as a former president of the University of the West Indies, I can tell you the difficulty and the hardship that our brothers and sisters from South Trinidad face, having to pay exorbitant rent around the campus in St. Augustine. I had to go through that, and others from South. But worst of all, there's only security on the campus. And while they may have the halls on the campus to take care of the foreign students, what is left for our brothers and sisters who have to travel and go and rent? I know how many mothers and fathers here will recall packing lunch and carrying it for your children at the university, my brothers and sisters, because the students at the University of the West Indies, which Kavish will tell you, are at the risk and at the mercy of the criminal element. And I recall when I was up there as the president of the guild back then, I was served 3 terms on the guild as the president of the Engineering Student Society, vice president of the guild, and the president. And we shut down the campus in 2002, brothers and sisters. Red Day, we blocked all the gates and we shut down the campus because there was crime happening on that campus. And coming out of that kind of protest, for those who are on the campus, there's a student shuttle now dropping our children to their home. That student shuttle came out of resistance, protest, demonstration, and hard work, my brothers and sisters. But Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, she recognized the plight of the university students. And this is why, with Dr. Bodo and others, and Dr. Munilal and Sister Jerlene John, we had the construction of the UE Debe campus. We had the aquatic center and the cycling village room, brothers and sisters. And the development did not only happen here in Trinidad, even Tobago, those who were waiting for the longest while material, they say the material for that Scarborough Children's Hospital got hand and foot and was waking up and walking away. Galva was walking away from that Scarborough Hospital, brothers and sisters. It took a leader like Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, who was focused on the holistic development of all of Trinidad and Tobago, to do that Scarborough Hospital. In the same way, for the longest while, the folks of La Brea and Point Fortin has been waiting for that highway to Point Fortin. Since Eric Williams days, they promised a highway to Point Fortin. It took Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa and the People's Partnership Administration to start the development and the construction of that Point Fortin highway.
Just so, she see me. Just so, she greet me. Just so,
to the mosquito crack, my brothers and sisters. Councillor Bowen told you of what is happening in our society today with respect to crime. We have 10 murders in one day. And this is so sad and unfortunate that we have persons in authority speaking about the acceptable level, as though there is some sort of acceptable level for crime to happen and murders. Not one murder we will entertain in this country, my brothers and sisters. Not one. Because you touch one citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I want to tell the Rowley administration, you touch one, you touch all of we. Do I have your support on that? We had constructions of police stations across the length and breadth of this country. Kumoto Police Station, Maloney, Maruga, Oropuch, Piako, Arima, Brasso, and right here in the constituency of La Brea, under the leadership of Ms. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, we had the refurbishment and the construction of the La Brea Police Station. I see my brother Elephant is here tonight, and I thank you for joining us. A stalwart and a soldier of all has returned for battle, because the battle cry has been sounded. There is a lot at stake in this upcoming elections, my brothers and sisters. This list we can go on and on. Brother Javid told you about the neglect to the education sector. It took the People's Partnership and Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa to commence the construction of that Rousillac Hindu school. And for the last 7 years, this wicked, uncaring PNM administration continue to be vindictive in their policies and their spendings of billions of dollars, while the children here in Rousillac community continue to suffer on a daily basis, my brothers and sisters. Sister Ramona told us about the market in Siparia. We had the Taruba Link Road right there. While I was serving during the leadership of Ms. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa under the chairmanship of Dr. Vincent Lass at the PTSC, what we saw happening is even the bus service and the bus transport was being expanded into rural communities, into areas that people never saw a bus before. We had buses passing throughout the country. We had an efficient school transportation system with maxi taxis taking our children to school. We had the conversion of these buses to CNG. Since they have come into office, my brothers and sisters, every single thing continue to collapse, continue to shut down, continue to fail, because what we are governing by in this country is a completely failed PNM administration. So the list can go on and on, my brothers and sisters. I will normally speak about agriculture because I shadow the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. And we see how our farmers are being affected on a daily basis. We have things like the giant African snail that came into this country way up in Diego Martin, and the snail was even able to move across this country faster than the PNM could respond. That giant African snail all the way down here in Rousillac and Barakpo and La Brea. And that is what is happening. They are sleeping in office, my brothers and sisters, and they continue to mismanage this country, spending billions of dollars and telling us to ban our belly. Brothers and sisters, because of their incompetent policy and failure to understand what is happening in our society today, our citizens continue to suffer. Imagine the price of flour went up in January this year. The last time flour went up was in 2008. You all recall that? Since 2008 to now, we have had systems in place. Under this uncaring Rowley administration, now flour has gone up by 33%. We see gas price have increased by over 300% under this Rowley administration, my brothers and sisters. So I say to you that this election is an extremely important election, because we need to be able to come together and stay united as a party, that when Sunday the 26th of June, we must send that mandate, that resounding figure, to show that the UNC is united and the UNC is fully in support of our political leader, the best Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa. Brothers and sisters, I want to take a moment to share with you a little about myself. I know most of you all would have supported me, and I thank you for all the support that you have given to me over the years as I have grown from strength to strength, from working right here in the constituency of La Brea as an election officer and as a party organizer under the chairmanship of Dinesh Sankar Singh, a former chairman of this constituency. They tried to take La Brea and they tried to take Faizabad and they cut out some PDs down in Quarry, and they moved Dinesh out of La Brea into Faizabad with the hope and anticipation that if they moved those areas, they could win Faizabad. But with Dinesh Sankar Singh, we were able to secure the Faizabad constituency. But I want to say to you, I have served this party from way back then. And because of that work I have done in this party, brothers and sisters, in 2007, I served as a general election right here for the constituency of La Brea, which I have seen all of you coming out and giving me that support and that love, and I thank you. Moving on from there, in 2015, I want to say in 2010, I offered to serve. In 2010, I filed my nomination to serve this great party. But the political leader made her choice and she made her pick. And she selected, I will say, one of the best teams that she could have ever selected, because that team in 2010 is what formed the government of this country, which is one of the best cabinets this country has ever had. But even though I was not selected in 2010, I didn't take up my bat and ball and gone home and start to cry, take all my marbles and go. No. I support my leader and I support my party. And in 2015, because of that love and that support that I have always demonstrated to this party, I was asked if I would be willing to take up that fight in Point Fortin, because Grenville Ayres and Dr. Lass and the rest of the folks down in Point Fortin, Sharon Bihari and those folks, they say, send Ravi for us. And I was nominated, I was screened, and I was selected to fight the Point Fortin. Brothers and sisters, I gave it my best. We fought long and we fought hard. And in that fight, I want to thank my brother who came out and walked with me every single day. He is here with us tonight, and he is going up in this election as our Tobago regional representatives. I want to acknowledge the presence of former candidate Tahaka Obika. After that, my brothers and sisters, I went up, I contested the party organizer position. In 2015, we had internal elections in this party, and the political leader asked me to serve at the national executive of this party, and I embraced that opportunity. And from 2015 right through, we have been fighting them in opposition, but we have been fighting hard. And for 2016, I became an alderman. I was asked to serve as an alderman at the local government level. And that is where I more or less started my political career, just like our political leader, as an alderman at the Couva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation from 2016 to 2020. Well, my brothers and sisters, with your support, with the support of my family from Point Fortin, with the support of my family from Couva North and other surrounding constituencies, I have been given that opportunity to serve as the Member of Parliament for Couva North, and which I execute to the best of my ability. And for that, my brothers and sisters, with that opportunity, I say thank you to the thousands and thousands of constituents of Couva North and all others who have given me their confidence and their support, my brothers and sisters. And I have continued serving this party across the length and breadth of this country. But I want to take another moment to share with you something that is extremely important in this election. Because you see, my brothers and sisters, there are some persons, when they don't get a bat first, they take up the bat and ball and go on home. And when they get selected on the team, they want to take the ball and go. In 2020, brothers and sisters, when I was selected as the Member of Parliament for Couva North, I supported you in 2010. I wasn't selected in 2010, Ramona. But even though I wasn't selected in 2010, Ramona, I didn't take up my bat and ball and go on home. I gave you the support. Barry Padarat supported you. Sandy Lachman supported you. Sharon King supported you. And all the people in the UE movement supported this girl they call Ramona. Not just Ramona, Ramona Ramdial, former Member of Parliament for Couva North. But you know what happened in 2020 when she didn't get selected to go back? It wasn't my fault. I wasn't doing the selection. It was a screening process in the party. What did she do? Placard, protest, go outside, make noise, try to mash up. And from since then to now, this girl has been toxic, writing all sorts of foolish nonsense in the party, trying to attack this party and attack our political leader, the best leader that this country has ever seen. The most compassionate leader this country has ever seen. It have an ex-fella who has not been selected, but he have been there, he has been around. But I want to ask you, when my brother Victor Roberts was selected to go up for La Brea, what kind of support you gave Victor? Where were you to help Victor Roberts bring home La Brea? Well, I want to tell you something, that Victor Roberts is going to bring home La Brea whenever that general election is called, my brothers and sisters. With or without your help, because the people of La Brea have had enough of this uncaring Rowley administration. Brothers and sisters, I want to say to you that performance beats old talk all the time. I wouldn't waste too much time dealing with the detractors and with those persons who try to confuse and go outside there and think it's a popularity game by taking a guitar and singing on Facebook and sponsoring and paying for people to watch your views by sponsoring advertisement on Facebook. You know, if you have all that resources to sponsor thing on Facebook, why don't sponsor a UNC Monday night meeting? I have been doing, together with Sister Jillian John and Peter Kanhai and Firoz and our political leader and our team, Every single Monday night meeting from since 2016 come right back up to this week, our Monday virtual report. This UNC party, my brothers and sisters, under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, has grown significantly. We have become a powerhouse. We have become, what I should say, a giant in the political arena of Trinidad and Tobago, because it is under Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar who, when she became political leader in 2010, the membership of this party was around 30,000. Now the membership of this party is over 100,000 members in this country. She have put shadow line ministers, as Dr. Bodo told you, shadow line ministers to focus on all the different aspects of government as a government in waiting. And this is why we have the PNM government on the ropes, my brothers and sisters. Whether it is the failure of the Attorney General, you will hear young Saddam Hussein going at him, Jayanti Lakshmidiyal, Dinesh Rambali going at them, my brothers and sisters. Whether it is agriculture, I continue to do what I have to do. Whether it is finance, MP Dave Tanku will continue to jam and expose the mismanagement, my brothers and sisters. Whichever front that they may fail on, from education, come right back. Imagine over 46,000 persons in this country was unable to have an online education opportunities, because Sister Anita Haynes at that Joint Select Committee was able to ask the questions and put them under pressure and expose them. My brothers and sisters, this UNC government, I want to say to you, a government in waiting. We have been hosting activities on a daily basis. On Sunday mornings, all of you will know, we have the Sunday morning press briefing coming direct from the leader of the opposition office. On Monday night, we have the Monday night virtual report. On Tuesday, our Senate bench is putting pressure with them inside the Parliament. Under the Senator Wade Mark is leading the charge inside the Senate. On Wednesday, we have Senator Anil Roberts with the Dogla politics jamming at them. On Thursday, we have our brother Victor Roberts kicking it off on a Thursday evening, going straight into the TNT Speaks platform on a Thursday night, where we go from constituency to constituency. On a Friday night, we are inside the Parliament fighting them. And on a Saturday, all of you, your constituencies, Women Arm, Youth Arm, Chairman Dinesh and the others are out continuing that call of our political leader to uphold that October revolution, which transformed into the People's Revolution, to demonstrate the incompetence of this PNM administration. So my brothers and sisters, I say to you tonight that this UNC government has continued the charge to fight for you, my brothers and sisters, and to fight for all the citizens. Councillor Bowen told you that we lost government back then only by just a handful of votes. 800 in the constituency of St. Joseph and 1,400 in San Fernando. That is how much separates the UNC from being the next government of Trinidad and Tobago. But in between that period, my brothers and sisters, we had our local government election. And what we saw happen in this party is that we continue to work in a very silent and disciplined manner. We don't have to tell the PNM what we're doing. We don't have to tell John Public what we're doing. This seat here, Rousillac La Brea, we could have lost the seat. The margin was a very small margin. The PNM persons were just not coming out to vote in Rousillac La Brea. I don't know why, but that's the reality of it. This seat is a seat that the PNM went after, but we were very scientific, we were very strategic, we were very militant, and with that guidance provided to us by our political leader and our campaign manager, your councillor Javid has moved this from a marginal seat to a safe seat. Let's give it up for the work that Javid and all of you has done for the UNC and the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And similarly, my brothers and sisters, the work of the party continue, because the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, we had a chairman there called Terry Rondon, a PNM chairman. You all remember Terry? He and all have some fallout with Rowley. Them have real fallout in the PNM. But anyhow, we went into Sandy Grande very silent, very strategic, very disciplined, and we did our groundwork. And with our brother Nasser Hussain, we moved the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation from a PNM to a safe UNC-controlled regional corporation. And tonight I say to you, brothers and sisters, if that local government comes before the general, in San Fernando back in 2016, we only had one alderman, Shane Samlal. After the 2019 local government election, we have 2 aldermen inside there, Colin Lazama and Buddy Samaru. And we also were able to win 3 councillors. We have Marcus, we have Texi, we have Kern inside there. And we have Rishi in the San Fernando City Corporation. Brothers and sisters, with that discipline, even though we did not secure San Fernando City, I want to tell you tonight that we lost 1 seat by 30 votes and another seat by 80 votes. My brothers and sisters, as we continue the work of this great party, as we continue to be disciplined and focused and grounded and working, not for John Public and the PNM to know, but working on the ground scientifically and strategically under the guidance and the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as soon as that local government election is called, we are going to bring home the San Fernando City Corporation to the United National Congress. So I say to you, brothers and sisters, a lot is happening. A lot is happening. Tune in to Victor Roberts on a Thursday evening or on a Wednesday on Douglas Politics, and you will be updated and informed. But after this internal election, there is also going to be a constituency executive election, because we know the challenges we have here in the La Brea constituency with that executive. But that's okay. There are some on that executive who are very hardworking and who are dedicated and committed. So we will have that constituency executive election where we will ask you to come out and do what you have to do. But there is a certain level of mistrust and deception that is happening in this election. And I want to deal with that. Because I spoke with someone who was doing an announcement. And they thought to themselves that the next fella who think he could just parachute and become party organizer, they thought he was working with the political leader and the star team. Because he talking about our leader. Even though he does not support the mandate of the political leader to vote for all 18 stars, this fella lacked discipline. And that is why he is where he is. And I want to say to you, come down from there. Come down from there, because in this UNC party, we require to be focused and we require to be disciplined, and we are required to execute the political mandate given to each and every one of us by our political leader. According to the leader, we stay in our lane, we stay in our section. So this is why this person told me, he said, but that next fella is with the boss. So he showed me a symbol looking something like a spider. Yeah, it's something like this. It's looking something like a spider when you watch it. He tried to draw a star, but he ended up with something looking like a spider. I want to say to you all tonight, brothers and sisters, beware of the spider that other persons are using as their political symbol. And when you go to the polls on Sunday the 26th of June, I want you to count the 5 points of the star. As you can see behind me, a star has 5 points. A spider have about 8 legs. Some fellas want to grow 2 more legs on that spider. But when you go to the polls, my brothers and sisters, I want to say to you to follow the star. Place your X next to all 18 stars. From Kamla Persad-Bissessar, you ram that X down as a star. Don Sylvester, elections officer, look for the star. Follow the 18 stars, my brothers and sisters. As we continue to stay focused, as we continue to stay united, as we continue to stay disciplined, I am certain that as day follows night, the sun is going to rise again, and we are going to return Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as our Prime Minister. So I say to you tonight, one team, one star team, one leader, one party, one nation to form the next government of Trinidad and Tobago. On the 26th of June, vote UNC Team Star, follow the star, vote for all 18 stars. I am Ravi Ratiram and I am UNC and proud. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you.
Stated, I want to encourage you all to go out there on Sunday and vote for the entire star slate. Political leader, Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Deputy political leader, Ms. Jolene John. Deputy political leader, Mr. David Lee. Deputy political leader, Dr. Rudal Munilal. Chairman, Mr. Devendranath Tanku. Deputy Chairman, Ms. Khadija Amin. Policy and Strategy Officer, Mr. Sean Sobers. Education Officer, Ms. Vandana Mohit. Research Officer, Mr. Saddam Hussein. Elections Officer, Mr. Don Sylvester. Treasurer, Mr. Neil Gosain. Party Organizer, Mr. Ravi Ratiram. International Relations Officer, Mr. Nicholas Morris. Northeast Regional Representative, Mr. Anil Roberts. Northwest Regional Representative, Mr. Eli Zakur. Central Regional Representative, Mr. Barry Padarat. South Regional Representative, Ms. Shanti Budram. And Tobago Regional Representative, Mr. Tahaka Obika. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Javed Mohammed, your counselor for OTT Rousillac, and I fully endorse the best team to take our party forward under the leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the star team, and I urge you all to go out and vote for the entire star team. One party, one leader, one team. United with this team, we can get back into government and rescue Trinidad and Tobago from this wicked government we have now. Councillor Bowen.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mohammed. So, at this point, I'd like to invite Mr. Tahaka Obika, who is here with us tonight, to say a few words, take a minute of our time. Good evening, good evening. Let me shout it again. Good evening. All right. Well, if you see me in my ground clothes, it's because it's cold under this government. The place cold. The price of flour rising by 33%. And they want to tell you to buy alternative flours. 2 kilograms costing $21 after the price rise. They want me to buy flour that costing $100+. It's nice to have a little potato flour, yam flour, and so on. But how much people could afford to buy only flour $400 a month? How much people? Let me be real. And of course, if you see me in this clothes, it's because I was on the ground working to make sure that the star team of candidates wins resoundingly come Sunday. Now, I want to remind us, in Trinidad and Tobago, we talk about peace, bread, and justice. Every single member of every single trade union should be on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago come tomorrow morning, because as at yesterday, it have no bread for citizens. Flour is as important to every single family in this country as water, because everything we eat needs flour. And if you hear the PNM media warriors today, you ain't bound to eat flour? That reminds me of a former PNM leader that said, I do eat chicken. So if the price of chicken rise, that don't concern me. So
let's not give in to this PNM propaganda about alternative flour. The average citizen is already struggling. We catching, we auntie, we uncle, we nan and down to the neighbor we catching in this country. We catching hell. People cannot afford to send their children to school. There are many families that are keeping their children at home because they don't even have the uniform to put on their children back to send them to school. Kamala Prasad Bisesa called for this government to give a one-time uniform grant. And what did this government do? They ignored it. You know why? Because their children good. And once them children good, them good. They ain't even care about the supporters. Once those in Balize House children good, the PNM under Rowley, they good. This election, people keep asking, what is the importance of an internal election? Today, so I'm going up as the Tobago representative. I served as an economist in Tobago and as a secondary school teacher in Tobago as well. I've served many places apart from being an economist in Trinidad. Today, the Tobago House of Assembly read their budget. A lot of progressive plans, a lot of Tobago-centric plans for the people in Tobago. But in Trinidad, we will have our time. We will have our time. We will have our time. But this internal election is a dress rehearsal for Trinidad to do like Tobago and kick out this Rowley PNM. And for all of us who are supporting the honorable political leader, tomorrow, please God, all roads lead to where? To Penal. To which school? They used to call it junior sec. But thanks to the robust education program of the best Minister of Education this country has ever seen, ensuring that no child got left behind, you no longer have any junior sec and senior sec in this country. That is Kamala Prasad Bisesa. For those who are young who wouldn't know, that was before you were born. But I was in secondary school at the time. And I was teaching in Tobago. That was my second job. I was teaching in Tobago. And when I was teaching in Tobago, there were more school spaces than children, thanks to the work of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, then under a Pandey government. So tomorrow, at what time? 6:30 p.m. You want to reach early because you know parking will be tight. So you want to reach about 6 o'clock. Be ready because tomorrow is a full lineup of speakers. Remember, the internal election is a dress rehearsal for the next one, which is local or general, because we're seeing some fire in Balize House, and I'm going to leave it with this one. The rising sun must go up, and then the Rowley team will go down. The rising sun will go up, and the Rowley team will go up. Sunday the 26th, we vote in Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the Stars. I thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Just so, just so, just so, just so, just so, just so.
At this point, I want to state my name is Derek Colin Bowen. I am the councillor for the electoral district of Mondesi, and I fully endorse the star team led by our superstar political leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And I urge each and every one of you to come out on Sunday, all the members, every single one, and put your X by all 18 stars. I would also at this point in time like to thank, let me just get this little list here of a couple of people that came out today and do all the little needful for us. It would be remiss of us if we don't mention that. Miss Laura Sinat Singh, who did all these beautiful decorations. I think she cooked dal puri and duck hunting for us somewhere about. Principal Rousillac in the school, thank you very much for the use of the facilities. And just as I said that, if you have any able-bodied men, could you assist us after the meeting to set back up because these kids have tests tomorrow. Anil Ratiram, thank you very much for your assistance in putting things together today. And of course, William Archie, or ever present for carrying our live stream. I want to thank all of our guest speakers here tonight, MP Bodo, Councillor Victor Ramona Victor, Ravi Ratiram MP, Victor Roberts, my colleague, and Javid has been working for the last 2 good and 3 years. We like inseparable. We've been going anywhere to see Javid to see me or vice versa. And it's been a true pleasure working with him. So thanks very much, Javid. You're chairing again tonight. So I'll stay away from you a little bit. And of course, thanks to all of you for taking the time out this afternoon to come in here and spending some time with us and listening to our presentations. So I truly hope that you all have taken our words and that you will take this message back home with you to those who are not here and come out on Sunday and support the STAR team. And we also look forward to you all on tomorrow at the Penal Secondary School. Come out and hear the political leader. Come out, and we haven't been mingling for quite a while, so it's a good opportunity to come and meet some of you and see brothers and sisters. Please have a safe journey home. God bless.
So we vote and still back to square one. Look at people still suffering and beat up man John. We lose faith in the leader, and I'm not calling no names. We fed up of the lies and the dirty games. So it's right now we have a vote, no confidence. Cause right now in the country they're doing real nonsense. Now the majority of youth decide to go and pick up gun, like you're playing blind and you're deaf and dumb. Like you forget your people once you in power and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour. And now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one better thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up all your life. You could do much better. Kaiso, food prices going up too high. I's a madman. We can buy rice or flour. Don't the chicken gone up, peas gone up, sausage gone up, cheese gone up. It's everything gone up. I's a madman. Kaiso. To talk about the crime situation now is a problem. Too much of rape, murders and robbery, how they can't solve them. I see you talk and you talk out we brain with a set of lies while the country going down the drain. Them don't care about nobody. Wants to fix the finance, big shot friends and family. So the whole of the country wants you now to stop lying. Cause the next election is a new party we voting. Like you forget your people once you in power and you're moving evil. You had the whole place sour. And now that we discover it's 2% that they offer. This is one better thing that I want all you to remember. We fed up all your life. You could do much better. Gas prices going up too high. The cost of living is getting harder.